Hi everybody, Why So Wookie here. In this video we're going to take a look at the latest news from Pubg and also take a look back at the entire of Season 5, what changed in the game and what have we potentially got to look forward to in the future. If you enjoy this video and this look back over Season 5, consider liking and subscribing to see more. So first off, Season 5 is ending soon. So for us console players, it's ending on the 21st of January 2020 at 10 a.m. European time or 1 p.m. Pacific time. Survivor Pass Badlands is going to end as well. And just like at the end of last season, it gives you a retrospective of what you managed to earn during the time, how well you did, and the rewards that you had, which is pretty good. Also, on January the 30th, we'll be getting the rewards from the survival title system. So however many points you've earned and how far you've got, you'll get the rewards that equate to that, which is good. And again, this is how it's displayed and has been, since they started this system, which is good. I think personally I'm probably just going to make it to the 5,000 in my solos, which is my highest currently. I don't think I'm going to have enough time to get to the Survivor, although I have got a week off at the minute, but depends how much time I get on that. But I'll be happy if I get to the jacket and below for the helmet and stuff. And that's that. So that's the Survivor. Season 5 is ending soon. Now, the next bit of news, which you all may be interested in, which you can actually participate in yourself, is the PUBG 3rd Anniversary Skin Contest. It's now open for voting. So I took a quick look at this earlier myself, and I did some voting myself. So basically, you come on it, you click through to this link here, and then it takes you to the page where you can vote. Now, there's M416 skins, and again, it shows you which one I voted for, but, feel free to choose which one you like best. I mean, there's some really good options here. All five of them even are really good. I mean, that one's a little bit too white for me, but the other four are great. And then there's the hoodies as well. And again, I went for this one. I mean, this one just seems a bit too complicated. This one was the opposite, a bit too basic. You can't really see that one as much. And then this one was a good option. But I decided to go for this one. I really like orange, and I don't think there's that much orange stuff other than the prisoner outfit at the minute. So, that was pretty cool. And then the parachutes. Again, I ended up choosing this tropical wave looking one. I did really appreciate this one with the 3 eggs. I liked the red one a lot as well, but this one I think just pipped it. I really like the clean look of this. This was really cool, and that was the other one that I wasn't a massive fan of. And that's that. So make sure you go on there and vote for that, and then we'll get them distributed. I think they said it was in April sometime that we'll be getting those. Then the final bit of news, if you're into the esports scene on PUBG and you like competing in tournaments, the PUBG Global Series for Berlin is now open for sign-ups. So you just can sign up to it. There's a couple of different areas. So you've got Europe West, Europe East, I assume that's South, or Central or something, I'm not too sure. And basically it tells you, you go through to the link, you sign up for your correct zone, and then you've got certain dates where you participate for an open, then a closed, and then if you get through your closed qualifier, then you're going to go to the event in Berlin, which would be really awesome for you and your team. So yeah, just letting people know on that, if you've got a team of guys and, you've got a bit of free time, give it a go. Can't hurt. And even if you don't get through and you don't win, it's going to be an awesome, fun experience for you. And that's that. So that's the end of the news section. Next up, we're going to take a look back over Season 5 and what changes were made, and hopefully what will come in the future. Right, so just before we take a look at what we got in the first update of Season 5, Update 5.1, also a quick notice, we also got the ability to create a PUBG Global account this season, which ties together your different PUBG accounts, and the way that I reckon that'll work in the future is, obviously we can play with PlayStation players and they can play with Xbox players at the minute, but there's no inviting each other to the games. You can't actually really play with your friends from PlayStation if you have friends that are on different platforms. It's just random whether you're in the same lobby or not. So what I reckon will happen in the future, obviously this is probably still in development, you'll have a PUBG Global account. Now, similar to your Activision account and your Epic Games account for Fortnite, you'll invite players from different platforms to your game through the global account, which will be good. I'll leave a card at the top to a video that I did on the global account, and that goes into a bit more detail in that. So if you're interested in that, you can take a look at that individually. But right now, we'll just pop back to the seasons and update 5.1. So update 5.1 was arguably the biggest update we received this season. And it was basically centered around the Miramar refresh. So you got the A La Muerte Vamos, which is the Miramar racetrack, added to the map. So you find these ramps and cones everywhere where you can, race around and have a bit of fun, which is really good. They also added in the Gold Morado, and they also did a bit of a spring clean as well. So they removed stupid objects that just got in the way all the time. And that was pretty good. They also, as part of the Miramar refresh, added a massive loot balance into the game. So pretty much everything was increased by pistols and stuff like that, which is sorely needed on Miramar, because previous to this update, you always used to just find yourself looting the entire game, which is annoying, whereas now it's just much better. They also added in the vending machine system, which is sprinkled around the map, and basically it's like a lottery, and it can shoot out loads of energy drinks, which is awesome. Also, as part of the 5.1 update, the Survivor Pass Badlands was introduced, which is the current Survivor Pass, which is also going to come to an end soon, and I'm sure you're familiar with how they work. They also tried a new community mission system as well. So instead of just like community kills or whatever it was last time, you had to find these little boxes and they had CDs in, and then the more CDs the community found, you unlocked more rewards. So I think a couple of the rewards was like a trailer for the new Miramar refresh, like setting the story for the map, and then there was a couple of skins and that in there as well. The community did manage to get all these, and the final item was unlocked the other day, I think, and it was like a level 2 digital helmet, which is pretty awesome. Now the other thing I'd say in the future for this, if they did something like this, they need to like broadcast what it's about more, because the amount of times I was playing, it took up no inventory space, of course. The amount of times I was playing, I'd been in buildings that had been looted, there was no weapons, and there was, even dead guys in there, and then they'd left these boxes because either people didn't know about them or they thought they took up inventory space. So it just needs, telling a bit better on that one in the future. But overall, quite an enjoyable system anyway. What else was important? The survival title system, they released a new one of them, obviously. Right, so as part of the Miramar refresh as well, they did the Win 94 Reborn. Now, in this one, they made the Win 94 exclusive to Miramar, and they also had it where it came with a 2.7 scope automatically attached. Now, the Win 94 is a beast, and it's been really enjoyable using that. Which is good, and I'm glad they did this, because previous it was just a redundant weapon. Added on to that, they added a feature where you can throw ammo and meds to your teammates using the radial system, which is pretty good. They also added throwable melee weapons, so if you're at the beginning of the game and all you manage to find is a bloody machete, at least you can throw it at the guy, and if you get the headshot, you're gonna live, which is good. And then they did do a couple of changes to the Aaron Gallen radio message, but nothing massive there. And that was basically it for update 5.1. It was a good update, and it added a lot to the game. Right, next up is update 5.2. Now in update 5.2, they added in the Pubg Labs system for the first time to the game. Now the first one that they tried on console was the skill-based rating, and basically what this entailed was at the end of each game, depending on how well you performed, you'd either get plus or minus points. The more plus points you get, obviously you rank up tiers, gold, diamond, etc. And it just gives you an overall rating for your season. It's split up into solo, duo and squads, of course. And it was a fairly good system. I enjoyed working my way up through the ranks in the system. Now I think if obviously the test for this has just ended recently, but if they added this back into the game as a full feature in the future, I think what would be interesting if they had the survival title system, which has been in the game for a while now, which is all about survival time and not necessarily getting the kills and just surviving to the end. If they had certain rewards for getting high in the survival title system, and then in the skill-based system, which is more about getting kills as well as getting to the end, so you get rewarded for the kills more, if they had separate rewards for that, so it'd give you two things to aim towards as you're just progressing through a system naturally, for a season naturally, sorry, that'd be awesome. But yeah, I'll leave a card at the top, which will go over that video for you in more detail if you want to take a look at that. But for now, we'll just move on. In this update 5.2, they also added in the new spike track item. Now, this was teased in the Miramar refresh trailer, but it just wasn't developed already in time for the 5.1 update, so they brought it in quite swiftly with the 5.2, which is good. And they also had added in a Vikendi update, which was also nice. So in this one, a lot of the little villages that were just scattered around the map were just completely removed. They also made some of the larger cities more streamlined, so they're not so just ridiculous to navigate. And then they also froze the water around the castle and added in more cover and stuff, which means navigating down this part of the map is just way better. And then they did a lot of this stuff to increase, the level of sniper battles, which is like what the map's known for. I mean, you get to the top 10 in Vikendi and everybody in the dog has got an M24 or Kar98, so they've tried to lean towards that style of gameplay for this map, which is much appreciated. I enjoy it, which is good. And that was basically it for 5.2. Not a massive amount of stuff. They did some little controller stuff. They added a Type C, but nothing major. But the major thing was the Vikendi update. Now, the final content update before the end of Season 5, update 5.3, added in a new bloody realistic feature, which basically was designed so when you hit somebody in a certain body, the blood effect would be different. And then if you shot them when they had their back against the wall, the blood would splatter on the wall, so you could get more visual representations of the hits and stuff like that. Now, the idea on this one is great. I really liked the idea of it. It didn't work too well when they put it in the game, so they rolled it back in the end and have just continued developing it. Now, hopefully they refine this system and then in the future they can add it back. I hope they do because, it was a great feature and, I just hope that they end up getting it working in the end. They did a little bit of a balance on the vending machines so that you couldn't get too many of the energy drinks because people were getting loads. And then the next major thing, which they'd had on PC for a long time, but we finally got it on the console, was the death cam feature. Now this is really good. It doesn't particularly work very well in squads or duos unless your whole squad gets wiped at the same time. Because if you die early on and then your squad continues for 15 minutes and then they all die and you watch your kill, it's ages ago. But I mean in solos it's really good. So if you're playing solos, you get sniped out of nowhere. At least you can, a lot of the time just use it as a learning thing. So you thought you were in complete cover, the guy got you from this angle, you can see what he could see, and then you learn from it and it can make you a better player. It also adds a thing as well where if people are cheating and hacking, you can see it from their perspective and then you can more accurately report people if it's needed. But yeah, overall a decent feature. On top of that as well, the other major thing that they did was in the weapon mastery, you could choose a weapon as a favourite. And then basically all this added was that when you're in your Pubg ID and you've got your different stuff, you're holding that weapon. So it just, makes it slightly different. Because, I mean, there's only so many poses, so everybody's thing looks basically the same, just with different clothes. So it makes like it's different weapons and different clothes. So that's pretty cool. And that was it for 5.3. It was only a tiny little update. And like I said, the biggest thing in it was the blood, and they rolled that back in the end, unfortunately. And that's it. That's the Season 5 all wrapped up in a nice little bow. So hopefully, looking into Season 6, not quite sure what we're going to get yet. Hopefully they bring in the skill-based rating system as just a complete feature in Season 6. And we have that running along the survival title system. We'll also obviously get another Survivor Pass, whatever they decide to call it. I'm really hoping for a new map, but I feel like if there was a new map coming, we might have seen a teaser by now. So it might be more of a Season 7 thing opposed to a Season 6 thing. And are they going to do a Sandhawk refresh? I mean, Iron Gal's had a complete remaster. Miramar and Vikendi have had a refresh. Is Sandhawk going to get a bit of a refresh in this next update? Hopefully. And it'll bring it up to par with the others. Maybe another exclusive weapon for one of the maps. That's also good. I love getting my hands on a new weapon and trying them out. Only time will tell. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and found the information useful. If you did, consider liking and subscribing to see more. Wookie out.